dear, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure where our director is, Lee Lopez, so I will introduce myself. I think you know my name is Mary Lubeck, and I've lived here at Tide Point for about 3 years now. So I want to say good evening to all you good friends. I'm happy to see you. And I can't imagine that you're all interested in it, but I'm glad. Before we begin the best part of the program, which is the musical part, I'd like to take just a few minutes to tell you a little bit about my background. And I want to start with some thoughts about my childhood. Like so many of you, I was a child of the Great Depression, born in 1930. I lived as an only child with my parents in a small town in northern Wisconsin. And I had no idea during that depression that poverty lived right on my doorstep. Nor did I have an idea how difficult it was for the adults in that little town because employment was basically absent. My parents had lost their business, but again, I was totally unaware of their financial problems. And the reason that I was able to live in such a happy state of innocence was because of my parents, especially my mother. She offered me a view of my surroundings that was absolutely idyllic. I had no idea there were troubles all over the place. Every simple activity she kind of turned into something special. They provided me not only with unconditional love, but she had a wise way of taking common everyday experiences and allowing me to learn a really important life lesson. And I'll give you a few examples of what I mean by that. On the side of our home, we had a wild yellow rose bush. It was just lush. And the bees just loved it. And it was fun to watch the bees feast on the flowers. And when we did, my mother would say to me, "How lucky those bees are that we are providing them with nourishment." And the lesson I took away from that was that it was pretty good to be a giver. And in the morning when I would go out to our berry patch in our yard and pick raspberries for my breakfast, my mother would remind me how lucky I was. She said, even Princess Elizabeth cannot walk outside and pick her very own berries for her very own breakfast. And so I figured I was a lucky child. In the white world of winter, we fed the chickadees, and of course, I learned to be aware of the needs of others. But amazingly, for an only child, my parents allowed me a rather unusual responsibility. As an 8-year-old girl, I was given the task of bringing the neighbor's cow home from the pasture every afternoon about 4:30. Little did I know that Bessie did not need any help. She knew her way home from the pasture, but my assigned job gave me the opportunity, here comes Lee right now, gave me the opportunity to nurture the courage for independence, and I learned that it was kind of nice to be in charge. Good evening, Lee.
I apologize. Oh boy, I screw up.
No, you didn't. You're here, that's the main thing. My parents also pointed out to me how fortunate I was to have a railroad track nearby. And they encouraged me to go to that railroad track as often as I could, and they told me I would develop perfect balance if I walked on that railroad track. So I figured diligence was important. But my precious companion was my little dog, Chum, who went swimming with me at the lake that was maybe a 4-minute walk from our home. And I have to tell you, Chum was my only lifeguard. I learned the lesson to be careful and take care of myself. Music was a huge part of my childhood. My father was a marvelous piano player, and my uncle played the violin. And many, many evenings we spent at my grandparents' home while they played for us and we sang along. So I learned early in life that the warmth of family life and the beauty of music was a terrific combination. So when I examined my childhood, I realized how fortunate I was. I was encouraged to find beauty in my own backyard, and I was encouraged to accept responsibilities and take care of myself. In 1940, we moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and my mother was able to resume her career as an elementary school teacher, and my father went into business with his brother, and poverty left my doorstep. In college, I met my future husband. We married and we raised 3 daughters. 2 of my daughters live here on the island and 1 still lives in Wisconsin. My career was in education. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in education and a master's degree in psychology. I taught at a lot of different levels, and I worked as a teacher consultant for the Kenosha Unified School District, taught general psychology and psychology of human relations at Gateway College in Kenosha and Racine, Wisconsin. My husband and I created and operated Music Box Designers, which was a rather unique business because we were able to offer about 300 different tunes and countless designs, and so people could come and create and personalize their own music box gifts. It was a happy business because everybody got what they wanted. We also owned Buckle Publishing, and we published and marketed a great number of books. But the first book that I was involved with was really a labor of love, because this book my mother and I collaborated on. She was 97 when we started the book. It was called Recipes and Rhymes of Late Victorian Times. And it's simply a collection of recipes from her family life of the early 1900s and some photographs that describe what life is like in the 1900s. And she also had some rhymes describing her view of that time. I wrote this, the early 1900s. This was a time of unlocked doors and aproned neighbors, when days were hallmarked by chores and meals were labors of love. I did all the calligraphy for the book, and it was quite successful. We had 2 printings, and I was surprised the other day. I looked at Amazon, and there were 2 copies available. The book is out of print, but if anyone would ever like to borrow it, I'd be happy to share it with you. And the second book, my mother and I also collaborated on, was Secrets of a Victorian Childhood. And in this book, she describes what childhood was like in the early 1900s. She did this when she was 100. She was kind of, and again, the book is out of print. If you ever would like to read it, I'll be happy to share it. The third book, Discover the Secrets of Friendship, is one that I put together. It's a collection of, I guess I'd call it a how-to book on friendship. It's a collection of thoughts and ideas and ways to maintain friendship. And I managed to get some contributions from everyone, from a person from every state in the Union. So there's a big variety, and it's a happy book, kind of fun to read. The next book I was involved in, had a lunch one day with a friend of mine who was a child psychologist, and she was telling me she was looking for a story to use with young children to help them make better decisions. And that kind of intrigued me. I thought about that, and so I wrote this book for her, Little Bug's Search for the Secret of Snug. It's a fable, and the children enjoy it, and actually the adults do too. And I couldn't find anyone to illustrate the book, so I did it myself, and it turned out pretty good. And finally, this is not a book, it's more of a booklet. It's called Pieces of Life, and I have poetry and prose on just about every subject you can imagine: home, friends, children, sex, age, stress, doubt, you name it. I tried to cover the waterfront with that book. And I'm going to read just a couple things from that book to you. The first one I'm going to read is called A Loyal Friend. I have a very loyal friend on whom I always can depend to give no unwanted advice, and who believes I'm void of vice. And when I'm impatient, Even Kurt, her tender feelings don't get hurt. She brags no boring monologues. She's my dear friend, my faithful dog. And here's a short one. The gift. For this, for that, for many things we daily pray that life will bring. Foolish please, for there is no way to top the gift of each new day. And when we sold our home and left it after we'd been there for 40-some years, I wrote this. Today's the day that I must say goodbye to all the melted days that you and I shared in this lovely place that we called home, the rooms that held our hearts. Now strangers hold the keys to the doors we thought would be only ours to open. But time had other plans, and now I must shake the hands of lonely memories. And finally, I want to read to you, I guess you'd call it a one-act play. It's a fantasy about eternity, and it's called The Visit. And there are two characters in this little play. One is called the resident, and the other is the visitor. I'll have to be both characters tonight. It starts with the resident. Yes, yes, come in. I hear you knocking, though I don't know why you bother to knock. You're going to enter with or without my permission. That's true. But Pete always reminds us to be courteous. Pete, what's this Pete business? Is that what you really call him? Well, we've known each other for centuries, so we are on a casual name basis. However, it's St. Peter to you. Well, don't worry, I wouldn't think of addressing him any other way but St. Peter. By the way, will I be meeting him soon? Oh, yes. He still manages the gate. He claims that he enjoys assessing a first impression of new arrivals. Good to know, good to know. Now tell me, fill me in. What's the procedure? What's the protocol? What's next? Well, it's very simple, actually. My first job is to check with you to see if you have received the soul packet of your life memories. Have you noticed a rush of life memories filling your soul yet? Oh, that's it. Yes, amazing. Right after my last breath the other day, I felt this rush of dates and times and events, things that I haven't remembered in years. It was an unusual experience, but it was a wonderful feeling. Memories from when I was a child right up to now, all arranged in chronological order. It was good to know. Well, that's the way it should happen. You'll be able to receive those memories anytime you wish. They'll last an eternity. Wow, I'm impressed. I thought Earth's technology was good, but you're a big step ahead of Earth. What else? Well, the only remaining task is for me to release your spirit. You see, your soul stays up here, but your spirit is sent into the ether. And that way, you'll be able to receive messages from loved ones from your floating spirit. You'll have the comfort of knowing that you are never forgotten. Every time someone thinks about you or tries to send you a message, your spirit will receive it and you'll be able to absorb it. Will I be able to respond? No, that's not possible. But believe me, it will be a source of comfort to receive messages from loved ones. Good to know. Really good to know. One more question. How do you release my spirit from my body? Well, it's a hands-on process that we angels learned at angel workshops. And all I ask is that you sit comfortably in this chair, close your eyes, and I'll move my hands over your head and shoulders. I'll offer a simple prayer, and then, with a gentle squeeze at your temples, your spirit will be lifted from your body into life's ether, and my wings will wave your spirit away. It's a totally painless procedure. Good to know. Okay, here we go. Hey, good thing we're starting. There's already a message waiting for you from your son, and he's saying you were a great and loving parent. Good to know. Good to know. But thank you. But over the years, songs would find their way into my mind, and it's a few of these songs that I'd like to share with you tonight. But my first and pleasant task is to introduce 6 special people who have made this presentation possible. It's my good fortune to have found 5 friends who possess vocal talent and are willing to sing my songs for you. They have given so generously of their time lately. I'm deeply grateful for the time and for the efforts that they gave me. They are our Tide Point friends, and I'm going to introduce them in alphabetical order. And they will stand, I hope. Wade Close, Carol Cook, Lee Lopez, Ruth McMoyle, and Judy Walker. Please welcome them. Thank you. And the 6th person is someone I'm very proud of, my grandson, Eric Shore. Eric is going to be our pianist tonight. He's arranged the music for the songs I've written. Eric graduated summa cum laude from the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and he taught at the Wisconsin Conservatory of Music and at University of Wisconsin Parkside. But he decided to leave Wisconsin and now lives in Charleston. I lost it for a minute, with his wife and his 3-year-old son. But Eric often performs here in Hilton Head at the Jazz Corner. Saxophone is his main interest, but he's going to play the piano for us tonight. So, my plan is this, to share with you some special life moments that I've translated into musical pieces, moments to remember. They're moments that we've all shared, moments that we have in common, unforgettable times that have stirred our hearts. And the first song is titled Grandma's Lullaby. This song came to me when I checked on my 2-year-old granddaughter one day when she was napping, and she looked so gentle and so peaceful. And I realized I had the privilege of seeing that perfect state called innocence. I'm sure you've done the same thing. And as I stood there, it was as if a ticker tape turned on in my mind, and it simply delivered this song to me. I had to hurry up and write it down before it left me. So Judy Walker is going to sing this lullaby for us. Let's listen to Judy sing Grandma's Lullaby.
Whoops. Can you hear me? Okay. You've had your bath, 2 books we've read. You've brushed your teeth. Your prayers are said. I guess it's time to go to bed. But first there's something must be said. Good night, my sweet darling, best child in the world. Your days in your dreams, now your cares are unfurled. Sleep carries you off to your own silent night. It holds you and heals you, makes all things feel right. Now close your bright eyes and reach for your rest. With love to surround you, you'll then do your best. So when God brings the morning and stars melt away, Your heart will be ready to join a new day, for that is life's rhythm, unseen and unheard. Good night, my sweet darling, best child in the world. Yeah, I need you.
Oh, thank you, Judy. That was perfect. I have to tell you a little anecdote about that story. About that song. When I first wrote it, it wasn't best child in the world. I said, good night, my sweet darling, best girl in the world. And one day, Eric, my grandson, happened to be at our house, and he left. After he left, I happened to go to the piano, and the music was there. And underneath where it said best girl in the world, Eric had printed best boy in the world. So I had to sing two versions of the song, one to the girl and one to the boy. Okay, the next song is I Know It Must Be Spring. And this song came to me as I walked in the park with my grandchildren. It was a fresh springtime morning in Wisconsin, and spring is always a welcome time in Wisconsin. It was one of those times when Mother Nature's beauty just takes your breath away. So Ruth McMoyle will sing for us, I Know It Must Be Spring.
I know it must be spring because I heard a robin sing, and all the trees are dressed in lacy green. I know it must be spring. The tulips wave as I walk past, and squirrels frolic in the grass. I hear the sound of raindrops splash. I know it must be spring at last. I know it must be spring because I heard a robin sing, and all the trees are dressed in lacy green. I know it must be spring. The lilacs bloom along the path, and birds enjoy their puddle baths. The winter cold is in the past. I know it must be spring at last. I know it must be spring because I heard a robin sing, and all the trees are dressed in lacy green. I know it must be spring. Life's promises burst forth so fast as flawless days and nights are cast with beauty that is oh so vast. I know it must be spring at last. I know it must be spring because I heard a robin sing, and all the trees are covered and dressed in lacy green. I know it must be spring.
Thank you, Ruth.
My pleasure, thank
That
you.
was lovely. Thank you, dear. That was lovely. In my job as teacher consultant, I made many home calls. And one day, the man of the house that I called on opened the door and he greeted me with a huge smile and he said, "Today is a special day. Today I brought home my big black Cadillac." And his grin was as wide as the dashboard. And later that day, when I saw him drive away, this song just kind of emerged in my mind. This song, to me, is an ode to accomplishment because he waited a long time for that big black Cadillac. So think back to a time when you felt the joy of a long-awaited accomplishment. So my big black Cadillac is an ode to accomplishment, and Lee Lopez will sing for us, My Big Black Cadillac.
Well, I got it.
Turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
There you go.
Thank you. Today I'm going driving down the streets of my town in my big black Cadillac. It's my heart's desire, it's my dream come true. It's my big black Cadillac. The gals are waving and the guys are too. The teenagers wondering what did I do to be able to drive down the streets of my town in my big black Cadillac. Well, here's the story, it's easy to relate. I didn't win the lottery or big sweepstakes. I kept my nose to the grindstone and eye on the ball, and I worked and saved, that's it, that's all. So if you have a dream and you want it to come true, here's the advice I will give to you. Keep on working and never look back, and your dream will come true like my Cadillac. Oh yeah, my big black Cadillac.
Now that'll wake you up, won't it? Okay. Judy is going to return to sing a song that came to me when I was riding my tricycle around Tide Point's beautiful pathways. We're all aware of time as a fleeting gift, and this song is a reflection of precious time and a reminder to share that time with the people we love. So let's listen to Judy sing, Come Take My Hand.
Thank you, Lee. Now, can you hear? I think it has to be up now. Up? Okay. Can you hear me? No. Wait, I just moved it that way.
Okay. We'll just slide it forward a little bit. Okay.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay. Come take my hand and walk with me. Let's make today a memory. The day's awake, the sun is bright. Let us embrace each lovely sight. For Father Time's a fickle guy. He speeds the clock and makes time fly away too soon, my friend, it's yesterday. Come take my hand and dance with me, let's make this waltz a memory. The music sways with soft romance, it sings to us, don't miss love's chance. For Father Time's a fickle guy, He speeds the clock and makes time fly away too soon, my friend. It's yesterday. Come take my hand and stay with me. Let's make tonight a memory. No need for us to be apart. Rest with me, we'll warm our hearts. For Father Time's a fickle guy. He speeds the clock and makes time fly away too soon, my friend. It's yesterday. Too soon, it's yesterday.
Oh, thank you, Judy. That was lovely. One Sunday morning, quite a few years ago, at the church I attended, a middle-aged gentleman dressed in working clothes joined us, and it was a small congregation, so I knew it was the first time that I had attended. He sat so that it was very easy for me to observe him, and I noticed how intently he listened to the sermon and to the music. To me, his body language indicated that he was searching for something, and as I walked home from the service that day, this song kind of came to me, and I thought it reflected that man's story. I just felt he was searching for spiritual answers. So Wade will sing that song that I dedicate to that unknown man, Jesus as My Guide.
This is kind of in the way. Can you move it back?
Sure.
Move it away. I really don't need a microphone.
Okay. Okay.
No, that's fine. Just leave it there. Yeah. Once my soul was lost, for I had no destination. My heart was full of care and pain, and doubt marked all my days. And then I heard of Jesus' love, and I had a revelation that faith and prayer would bring me sweet Jesus as my guide. Yes, with Jesus as my guide, I know I will survive all the sins and all the sorrows this old world seems to provide. And when it's time for me to leave, my loved ones need not grieve, for on my passage I will have Jesus as my guide. I know where I have been, and I know where I am going. I'm traveling down a brand new path with Jesus at my side. And though this journey may be new, I'll not fall or I'll not falter, because I have sweet Jesus beside me as my guide. Yes, with Jesus as my guide, I know I will survive all the sins and all the sorrows this old world seems to provide. And when it's time for me to leave, my loved ones need not grieve. For on my passage I will have Jesus as my guide.
Thank you, Wade. That was great. The final offering is a song that I wrote as an ode to Tide Point friendship. I think Tide Point offers the perfect background in which friendship can thrive. Carol Cook is going to sing for us It's a Happy Day. And after she sings it, Eric will play it again, and we're hoping that you will join along the second time so that we can end the presentation with a chorus of friendship about our home here at Tide Point. Carol? Hello, everyone. Are you ready? Okay. Hey, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling kind of blue? Well, if that's the case, let us tell you what to do. It is a happy day out here in Tide Point Way, so open up your heart and sing your cares away. Just come on along and sing this happy song with us, 'cause it's a happy day. Don't let your cares confound you, just let joy surround you. Life's too good to let gloom get in the way. Hey, it is a happy day, a running parade. We're going to rock to shout, it is a happy day. So come on along and sing this happy song with us, 'cause it's a happy day. No matter what the weather, when we're all together, friendship always melts our cares away. Hey, it is a happy day out here in Tide Point Way. So open up your heart and sing your cares away. Just come on along and sing this happy song with us, 'cause it's a happy day. Yes, it's a happy, it's a happy, it is a happy day. Are you ready? Now, what's going to happen is I will do the little sad part, and then all of you will make me happy, because you're all going to sing. Is that okay? All right, let's see what we can do here. Ready, Eric? Hey, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling kind of blue? Well, if that's the case, let us tell you what to do. Ready? It is a happy day out here in Tide Point Way, so open up your heart and sing your cares away. Just come on along and sing this happy song with us, 'cause it's a happy day. Don't let your cares confound you, just let joy surround you. Life's too short to let gloom get in the way. Hey, it's a Well, thank you for your attention. It was fun, and I hope to see you at Tide Point, off and about, right? Thank you.